Welcome to day two. Let's take an overview and look at our skills that we're going to learn today. The first thing we're going to do is do a review of yesterday's activity. So let's spend 3 to 5 minutes and work on those kicks, get them really good if we can, do some of our torpedoes, navigate the wall, climb out, and do the torpedoes from the sitting position. Today, we learn how to go underwater. And I have a note here also that we're going to work on a few little things like how to fix our nose if we're having a problem with water in our nose, and our eyes, which are common things that kids don't like. And then we're going to learn how to go underwater for 5 seconds while counting, but that's after we learn just to do a quick underwater. Then we're going to learn to open our eyes underwater. We're going to play some games, and then we're going to dive for toys. And then again, we'll float on our back and finish like we did yesterday, except we'll just stretch out a little bit more. Day two has the potential to be the easiest day teaching or the most difficult. For about 10% of the people, the kids who already know how to put their face in the water, it's the easiest. For the 90% that don't, it tends to be the most difficult. And that means about 90% of kids don't like to get their face wet initially. They will eventually, and it's quite easy once they learn to do it, but initially a lot resist. And it's essential to learn though, because parents ask me, well, can my child learn to swim without getting their face wet? Well, they can't learn to swim that way. They can swim that way eventually after they're a good swimmer, but especially if you want them to be water safe, what that suggests is that there would be a scenario where they fall into the water, which means their face is going to go under the water and come up. They need to know how to swim when their face has been wet. And so we're going to learn that today. I'm going to help you navigate that. So think about what I'm saying though, which is the most difficult part of teaching is just getting your face wet. Yeah, the rest is actually easier than that. So let's talk about what to do, the do's and don'ts, and how to get through this the easiest way we can. And we approach it today on day two so that we start working on it. The faster we get through this one, the faster we get swimming. Did you know the younger your child is, the easier this is? Parents often say, well, I'll wait another year until they're a little bit older. It doesn't work that way. Kids actually become more fearful as they get older. 100%. I see it every single time. You take a 4 versus a 3-year-old, you take a 6 versus a 5-year-old, every time the older they are, the more fearful they are until you reach some point where it's maybe a 12-year-old or so. That's kind of the flipping point. And you would be shocked at the number of parents that have come to me after not just weeks or months, but even years of paying for swim lessons. Multiple of people have come to me after paying for swim lessons for 3 years at swim schools. And they say, well, my child still doesn't put their face in the water. I can't believe how much that experience has cost. So they're on day 2 of my lesson. Don't be in that position. So let's get through getting our face wet and we'll move on to swimming. I have a couple of helpful hints for you. Don't start talking about putting our face in the water way beforehand. It doesn't help prepare them. It doesn't help them anticipate. Rather, it just builds anxiety because a lot of kids don't want to do this. So the best way to approach it is simply right before we're going to do it, you explain. And here's how you explain. You explain that everybody that learns how to swim does this, and then you can personalize it. So what friends do they have? Or brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, yourself, right? These people know how to do this. This person learned, this person did it, and they're fine. This is what we all do when we learn how to swim. You can do it also. I'm going to show you how, and I'm going to teach you. Everything's going to be fine. Here we go. So you do it right before, so they don't have lots of time to be worried about it. You reassure them in a few different ways, right? Explaining that people they know have learned how to do it. They're all fine. And that you're there, you're going to teach them how to do it, and you're going to be just fine. Let's get to it. I want to share with you what I found to be the best way to put your face in the water. And that is this. One, you use a sequence so that kids know when you're actually going to go. So I say, ready, 1, 2, 3, go. And the first thing that's really important is when you start going, don't stop. when your child says, oh, wait, I have a question, or, oh, wait, I'm not ready, or, oh, I need to cough, or something like this, as soon as they do that the first time and they stop you, you've just taught them, oh, you want me to stop? This is what you do. No, the way to teach them is you say, when I count and we go like this, it's lunchtime. That's when we go. And you go do it and you come back up. And your child will actually really come to trust that and appreciate the consistency that, oh, when my teacher, mom, dad, whoever, tells me something, this is how it happens. Same goes, this is the principle that you use in everything else. When it's time to go somewhere, when something has a consequence, you simply say what it is, and then you execute on it. So you follow through, right? So same thing. If you hesitate, the rest of your lessons are going to be difficult because they will continually be trying to stop you for something. So don't do it. Count to 3, say, here we go, and go. Now, with that being said, don't hesitate. If you go really slowly, I've seen some teachers go slow, and the child will be going like that because they're a little bit nervous, and then they'll get water in. Same thing, or opposite of that is you don't need to lift them up and go boom and do a plunge. No, just go at a nice even speed, down and back up. This is the most comfortable for them. So you can have the water level about right here, and then just go 1, 2, 3, and just nice under at a good speed and back up like that. That reduces water going whoosh, shooting up their nose, and also reduces, here I go slowly. You don't want either of those scenarios. You can go under the water in a few different ways. You can go with your child if you want. If you don't want to, you can hold them here and just go this far under with them. If they're comfortable, you can hold them in front of you and go under this way. Or if they're really struggling and they're grabbing onto you, I found sometimes the easiest way is to turn them around and hold them so they're facing the same direction as you are. And then you can hold their hands, you can hold their arms, kind of snuggle them like this, and have their head about right here. You can hold them like this, and then count with them and say, here we go. And sometimes turning them away like that makes it a little bit easier so that they're not grabbing onto you. You can snuggle them a little bit better. So whatever works best for you, there's not a right or wrong. Let's talk about a couple of those fixes for the nose and the eyes that we read about on the checklist. So one thing is, if kids are getting water in their nose after they come up, because the area here does fill with water, it doesn't mean it goes inside, but it fills with water here. One good way to release that is when we come up, I say, pah, like that, and pah. By releasing like that, usually lets the water just drip out. So have them say, can you say pah? Come up with them, pah, and have them say that when they come up out of the water, obviously not under the water. Come up, pah, like that. Sometimes kids will come up out of the water, they'll be rubbing their eyes. I usually then try to hold their hands down like this, and I show them what I do with my eyes. I say, yeah, I have water on my eyes too. It feels a little bit silly on my eyelashes, so I blink like this. Can you do this? And show them how to do this. I say, yeah, that helps the water come off my eyelashes, but we all feel that. And I just blink like that. Yep, and that's okay. And try to have them resist rubbing their eyes, because then they'll be in that habit every time thinking they need to do that. So it's best to just bring them up if they're doing that and know that they're doing that. And you kind of hold their hands like this so that they don't do it, and then you talk them through it. After we've gone under the water a few times, I tell them, now, we learned to do this for 5 seconds, which is really short. Look, it's just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to count so you can hear me when we're in the water. Here we go. And then I say, ready, 1, 2, 3, go. We go under the water, and I count pretty loud for them right on top of the water so they can hear me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of them just relax and go with it. Others will kick like this. That's okay. I let them kick and I count to 5. I bring them up. Great job. Did you hear me counting to 5? Could you hear me? Yeah. Okay, excellent. Next, we're going to learn how to open our eyes underwater. Now, some kids will do this. Others will resist and they won't do it. That's okay. Try a few times. See if you can get them to do it. If they can't, move on and we'll do it in subsequent days. But here's the way I go ahead and do it. If your child knows their numbers, you can show them the fingers and ask them, how many fingers am I holding up? And if they recognize them, 2 fingers, then we say, okay, we're going to play a little game. We're going to go under the water And I'm going to hold up some fingers, and you're going to open your eyes and look and see how many fingers I'm holding. And you can tell them, it sometimes helps to say, you can have your eyes closed, and then we go in and you just go peek, take a quick little peek. You take a look and you can close your eyes again, because it's that first time just opening their eyes. And after they can do that, it's pretty easy. So you can see in the video how I hold them. Just turn them like this, and then you can go under and hold up some fingers down. If they don't know their numbers, you can use one of the dive toys. You can show a different color if they know their colors. So whatever they recognize, and then you play this game with them. Go under it, and we open our eyes, and we go on. So what number am I holding here?
1.
Good. What number here?
2.
Good. Here.
3.
Perfect.
4. 5.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to hold a number down here, and you open your eyes and look and see what number it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
2.
What number? Some kids are quite fearful about opening their eyes in the water, and so I tell them, similarly to how we did before about putting our face in the water, these are the people you know that know how to open their eyes in the water, and we already have water in our eyes, and you're going to be fine. All the kids do this, and there's no problem. And all you need to do, just open them really quickly, take a look, and then you can close your eyes again. Now we're going to learn to dive for toys. This is one where kids look and they go, oh no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to put my face in and go down there. That's too deep. I say, oh, you're going to love this game. This becomes kids' favorites, and it does. Most kids love this, and in fact, later on in lessons, I'm going, okay, we need to get back to our regular lesson because they want to keep diving for toys. But at first, it's one of the more difficult things. So this is a really rewarding one that you can help them learn to do, and you'll be amazed pretty soon that they love to do this. So find a depth in the pool that would take, in your estimation, about 3 seconds to get the toy and come back up. 3 seconds total. It can be on a step, but it shouldn't be on the top step, because then they'll just reach like this and not put their face in at all. And then after you do that once, they'll think, no, this is how I want to do it every time. Conversely, it doesn't need to be the very bottom where it's really deep and it's going to be a challenge for them and for you. So I'll give you an example here of something that's appropriate. So probably anywhere from like your shins to kind of the middle of your thigh. This distance would be, as you're standing in the pool, this would be good for the first time. This first time we go underwater, you see I put my arm around, and then I grab their wrist with my other hand like this, so that as we go under the water, and I do go under with them, I can actually help them grab the toy, or sometimes I even need to grab the toy for them with my fingers and kind of put it in their hand, and we come up, wow, look what you did, look what you got. And they're like, huh, where'd that come from? So do it like this the first time. After we've done this a few times with them, it's time to go to our next progression, which we're not going to say this to them, but instead of putting our arm around them and our hand on their wrist, we'll just move our hands to their sides now. So we're providing a little less support than we were initially. And then we'll tilt them down, let them grab the toy, and come back up. And this is assuming, again, their eyes are open and they were able to successfully grab the toys on previous attempts. It's really important when doing this that the child's head is below their feet. In other words, we don't want them folded over and grabbing the toy like this. We actually want their head down below their feet, like in the video. I'm going to use my little selfie stick again here. And if this is the child's head, we want it down like this. So we're going to tilt them down so that their feet are up higher than their head. And this is really important that they go down like this. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult because kids will keep kicking down here or keeping their feet down here while they bend their head over and try to grab the toy. I'm going to show you what we can do, a little trick. If you're having a difficult time getting the child's legs up above their head in this position, here's something I've done a number of times, is I'll stand like this and I'll put them out to the side, and as we go underwater, we'll say 1, 2, 3, go. And I lift up my leg here and I actually let their feet kind of bounce off my legs here, or I use this as a lever and tilt them this way, tilt, 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 and then they go underwater and bring them back up. So again, lift that leg up and let their feet hit here or their legs and kind of tilt them over my leg so that their body rotates. Next in our diving progression is to actually tilt them down, and we're going to let go a little bit. We do need to push on the back of their head, so I hold them like this. And the reason is you need to point your chin down like this and your head floats. If you're not holding and tilting them physically like this, but just nudging them, their head will keep bobbing up to the top. So you do grab the back of the head like this, tilt it forward like this, and then tilt, 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 and get their feet down like this. And then we're going to briefly let go from their sides and then grab their sides again. The purpose is they're going to feel where did the support go? It just left. And then you grab them again and they feel, oh, okay, there it is. And they'll get used to a little less support each time. 1, 2, 3, go. And then each time we do this, we can let go a little bit longer. And the water will push them back up to the top. So you push them down, let go, 1, 2, wait, as they start coming up. And then you can even talk to them, wow, you feel that water pushing you back up? That was great. Talk to them about the toy they got. What color did you get? Oh, let's go set the red one over with his friend, the blue one. Let's find the yellow one now. The last skill is to have them lie on their back again. See if you can have them stretch out a little bit farther than yesterday. Provide some support underneath. See if you can stretch out their legs. Let them lie back and see how comfortable they are today. Sing the same song, sing a different song. Enjoy.